So good morning all. The last class we had discussed about the synthetic oxygen carriers, in which we discussed about how the cobalamin complex, cobalt hexamin complex, iridium complex, that is vasatide complex, how their oxygen transport property, how it can be act as oxygen transport properties, and how the oxygen has been transferred from the simple triplet oxygen to peroxo and superoxo species, how it is forming, that we have discussed. And today we will be talking about how the hemoglobin and myoglobin going to be act as a oxygen transfer as well as oxygen storage, that we will be discussing. So before going to the before discuss about the how it is going to behave, I will be going to talk about the what are the iron containing macromolecules in biological system, what are their functions. So if we talk about the iron is present in both heme and non-heme proteins. So it is present in both heme and non-heme proteins. So my handwriting, don't bother, I am sending the materials, try to follow the lecture, okay. So when you talk about the heme and non-heme protein, both involved for the oxygen storage and it is also involved for the oxygen transfer properties, okay. So best examples we know that what you call as a hemoglobin, that is iron porphyrin protein, that is first one is what you call as iron porphyrin proteins. That is nothing but we know that it is like a hemoglobin, then myoglobin, which involved for the particularly oxygen transfer and storage. That is a hemoglobin involved for the oxygen transfer and myoglobin involved for the oxygen storage. Then another system is called cytochrome P450. What is that? We will discuss in the later. So which is involved for the electron transfer. Okay. Then when you talk about non-heme iron proteins, second thing is when you talk about non-heme iron protein. So you have a transferrin, that is a protein called as a transferrin, as well as ferritin, which is involved for the iron storage. Ferritin is involved for the iron storage in the human systems, biological systems. So these are the heme and non-heme. Then there are two more non-heme proteins. Before going to see that, what is a heme unit? Basically the heme unit is derived from the what we call as a pyrrole unit. That is, you can see that 4 pyrrole units. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 pyrrole units. That is why it is called as a protoporphyrin unit. So in which you have the methyl. This is also methyl. There is a methyl derivative. So it is a methyl derivative as well as you have the propionic acid. And the propylene ethylene moiety in the one of the porphyrin substitution. Okay, so this is a basic heme unit present in the hemoglobin and myoglobin. And basically iron containing macromolecules or iron proteins in the biological system has a 4 types. One is iron porphyrin proteins, that is a hemoglobin and myoglobin, as well as a cytochrome B450. Then second one is non-heme iron protein, which is a trans iron ferritin and transferrin and ferritin, so which is used for the iron storage. Then other iron containing proteins are like non-heme proteins, that is a non-heme. The third one is non-heme diiron oxobridge. So it is like it is called as example like hemethrine. This hemethrine. So it is having the Fe, that is a bridging ion, which has a. It also involves like FeO, Fe kind of hydrogen. Sorry, hydrogen. This connection. So this is also used as a oxygen carrier in the non-heme proteins. So by the via dioxinase. Okay. Then another non-heme protein is like iron sulfur proteins and sulfur protein. So the best example is it is a pyridoxines. We will be talking about in the later. Pyridoxines, which is used for the electron transfer in the nitrogenation reaction. It is used in the nitrogenation reaction. So these are the 4 different macromolecules present in the iron is present in the form of heme and non-heme protein. One is the heme proteins, that is the protophosphorin types. This is the protophosphorin ligand, where the 2 pyrrole unit having the protons. That's why it's called as a protophosphorin, in which iron will be coordinating after the hydrogen has been removed. So that is a heme protein based iron macromolecules, which is used for the oxygen storage as well as oxygen transfer. Then non-heme proteins, the first one is involved in the transferrin and ferritin, which is used as the iron storage proteins. Then other one is non-heme protein is the di-iron oxygen, that is hemerythrin, where you have the bridging oxygen or bridging peroxide, which is used for the oxygen transfer. Then our oxygen carrier. Then last one is iron sulfur proteins, in which it is present as iron sulfur form in the tetrahedral form, which is pyridoxine is the examples, which is used in the nitrogenation. So this we will be discussing in the later, how that is used for the electron transfer reaction. This we will be discussing later. Now we will be talking about how the iron heme proteins involved in the oxygen storage and oxygen transfer through the hemoglobin and the myoglobin. So we will talk about oxygen storage and transfer through hemoglobin and myoglobin. That is, we will represent the hemoglobin as an HB and the myoglobin represent as a NB. Okay, myoglobin and the hemoglobin. So we will talk about what are the functional groups are required for transfer and storage, and what is the mechanism involved. All the things we will be discussing about it. Before discussing those things, in the vertebrate and non-vertebrate biological system, what are the molecules involved for the oxygen storage and oxygen carrier? We will briefly discuss about it. So one is, first we will talk about what you call hemoglobin. See, hemoglobin, in which the iron will be present in the Fe2+. And each iron will be going to carry 1 dioxygen molecules, that is 1. So number of oxygen molecules is going to carry each iron will be 1 dioxygen molecules, and their function is, it is hemoglobin in which iron is used as an oxygen carrier, and the nature of the ligand is a protophosphorin based proteins. Okay, protophosphorin based proteins is a ligand. That is the first iron oxygen storage molecules. The next one is, we talk about myoglobin. So myoglobin also, in which iron is present as a Fe2+. And then here also number of oxygen dioxygen per metal center will be 1. That is, each metal can coordinate with 1 oxygen and it can be taken out. That is what meaning here. And then myoglobin has been used for the storage of oxygen. And again the ligand in which myoglobin is a protophosphorin connected with the protein unit. That is how the ligand is coordinated. This myoglobin. This is the vertebrate animals in which hemoglobin and myoglobins are used for the oxygen carrier as well as storage. So it is used in the vertebrate. Animals. Then other cases like the invertebrate. In this case, so one is hemerythrin, that is a dioxide iron proteins, that is a hemerythrin, which is used for the storage of iron and storage of oxygen. Again, here also iron in plus 2 oxidation state, but then number of oxygen per iron center will be half. That is the most important thing. The difference between the vertebrate iron storage and carrier and the invertebrate iron storage or oxygen storage and carrier will be different. So here the ligand will be only proteins, not a protoporphyrin based proteins. Okay, only proteins. Then fourth one is hemocyanin. So in which the copper in plus 1 oxidation, where it is again the number of metal, that is number of oxygen per metal will be half. Okay, and this is used as a oxygen carrier. This protein is used as a oxygen carrier. So generally in the biological systems there are two types of oxygen carrier and two types of oxygen storage. One is protoporphyrin based types, where it is present in the vertebrates, whereas non-heme proteins, that is hemerythrin and hemocyanins, in which it is present in the invertebrates cases. So that you can see the some of the invertebrate animal having the different colors, which is because of the oxygen is coordinating to the copper center. That is why some animals having the blue color blood and or green color blood. This is because of this the iron is coordinated or copper is coordinating as a bridging oxygen. That makes that color is different in the invertebrates. And vertebrates, we have the red color because of the oxygen coordinating to the iron 2+ centers. So this is the reason. Now we will talk about how this oxygen storage and carrier will be involved, what is the functional group is involved, all this property. We will talk with the hemoglobin and the myoglobin. So we will talk about oxygen binding, how it is oxygen. First we will talk about oxygen binding in heme proteins. Okay. So as I said, the heme, I already mentioned that heme is a protoporphyrin unit having the 4 methyl substitution, 2 ethylene substitution, 2 propionic acid substitution. I showed the molecules. Now when you talk about hemoglobin and myoglobin, first it is available in the blood cells. Okay, but if you see that the human body have the 5 liters of blood, and each blood cell having the 5 RU blood unit is having the 5 millions of blood cells, and each blood cell having the almost 2.5 into 10⁵ hemoglobins are present. So that is where the oxygen storage is going to happen, and it is going to be transferred to myoglobin and how it is going to react. Okay, so as I already mentioned that hemoglobin is essential for oxygen storage transfer, and myoglobin is essential for oxygen storage, which is stored in the muscles. Okay, in the muscles tissue, the myoglobin is going to store the oxygen. So in both cases, oxygen is binding with the iron to protoporphyrin heme through axial position. It is binding to the axial portion. So if you see that, how you can represent? So you have the nitrogen. So this is a represented as a protoporphyrin. So the 2 proton will be replaced with the iron and 2 nitrogen will be coordinating. So you have the 5th position. The 5th position will be coordinated with the nitrogen of the imidazole nitrogen. It is basically the imidazole unit. Imidazole means you should. So it is imidazole unit. Okay. And here, this is the protein chain will be continued. So it is basically, there is a histidine unit. The imidazole residue, this is called as the imidazole residue, present in the histidine unit of the proteins. It is a protein with a long chain amino acids, which is connected, which having a residue of histidine unit. In the histidine unit containing the imidazole ring is going to coordinate to the iron center as a fifth position. That is a fifth position. So that's the fifth coordinating will be nitrogen atom of imidazole unit. Imidazole unit in the histidine molecule. Histidine residue. So histidine residue of it is called as the F8 proteins. It is called as the F8 proteins. That means, see, this chain has the F8 proteins in the long chain, and this histidine unit is a part of the histidine unit where the imidazole unit is going to coordinate. Fifth position of the iron coordination, and then you have the sixth position will be the oxygen. Basically, this is how the oxygen coordination will be in the heme unit. Either it is a hemoglobin or myoglobin, it is going to be same way. But in the heme unit, then generally this heme unit is going to be present like if you see that the heme unit is going to be present encapsulated. It is completely encapsulated. What do you mean by encapsulation? That means it is completely covered. It is complete. See, you have the proteins. Nitrogen is there. Then you have the protein. This is a protein. So this protein is going to be completely covered like it. So protein is nothing but amino acid derived hydrocarbons. That means it is a completely carbon hydrogen unit. That means it is a repellent. It is a complete water repellent. So what is going to happen is this protein unit is going to be completely covered the heme unit, so that the water cannot come and coordinate it. Only oxygen can coordinate it, but there cannot be no water can be coordinated. So it is a complete heme unit will be encapsulated inside the protein units. This is how the overall system is going to be. The hemoglobin or myoglobin, the overall system will be there. And most important thing is iron 2 plus will be the high speed state. This is the high speed state. Iron 2 plus will be the high speed state. Okay, and now we will talk about structure of the hemoglobin. We will just briefly talk about. As I said that each hemoglobin have the completely encapsulated. That means completely covered with the protein unit, so that there is no water molecule can come. But how the number of heme unit present in hemoglobin? Let us see. Okay, so if you see that hemoglobin has 4 proteins. 4 protein, and each protein has a pocket called as a heme pocket. 4 protein units, and each will have the heme pocket. That means, see it is like, suppose this is a protein. The protein end will have the heme. That is a protoporphyrin with the iron side. That is a heme. See, globin is this is a hemoglobin. Okay, the heme means it is a heme, or hemo means it is a protoporphyrin unit. What we have seen, and globin is a protein unit. So it is a hemoglobin, myoglobin. Myoglobin also heme plus protein. They are different proteins. But when you talk about hemoglobin, it is basically derived from the 4 protein unit. Okay, so these protein units are in the form of. So these protein units are in the form of what you call as a alpha 2, beta 2 clusters. These clusters, how it is arranged? These clusters are arranged in the tetrahedral fashion. That means it is a tetrahedrally connected. So it is like alpha 2, beta 2 clusters. Okay, this is a nomenclature. What is alpha? What is beta? I will tell you later. It is like how the, see, when you talk about silicon tetrahedra, we will say like this. Okay, it is like this is instead of oxygen you make it sulfur tetrahedra. So this is alpha 2, beta 2 like that, and this is okay, assume that it is connected like this, and you have the each will have your heme like this only. It is going to be connected. Now let's see how it is going to be connected. So okay, see, now if you see that means hemoglobin has the 4 proteins. There is 2 alpha protein, 2 beta protein, and they are arranged in such a way that it will be look like a tetrahedral arrangement, and end of each protein unit have the heme pocket. That means it is like what we call as a heme pocket. Means that means how many iron unit is the hemoglobin should have the 4 iron unit to be there. That is the main concept. So the what is the alpha unit? Alpha unit is the 141 amino acid chain proteins. That is a 141 types of amino acid containing protein chain. That is what is the acid protein chain. And beta is like 146 amino acid containing protein chain. Amino acid containing protein chains. So basically it is like a 4 different kind of hanging around. 4 amino acids hanging around, and each end, each residue will have the peak pocket, but they are encapsulated in C. Like protein is not just hanging around, it is encapsulated in each other. So how we can visualize? We can visualize like this. So you have the tetrahedron. Okay. So you have each tetrahedron should have the heme pocket. This is a heme pocket. It is not like outside like what we have shown, but it is encapsulated inside. So, but for the visualization, I am putting like this. So, this is the what is the amino acid F5 proteins. That is the F5 residue. It is called as the F5 residue of the in which you have the CH2. So here this is the imidazole. So here your iron is there. So here protoporphyrin. This is a protoporphyrin, and you will have the alpha. So this is how the unit. See, the residue will be like this. So this is nothing but the circle is representing. This is what the circle is nothing but this unit. That is a heme pocket. This is what heme pocket. So each proteins will end up with the heme pocket. That means hemoglobin have the 4 protein unit and each have the heme pocket. That means hemoglobin have the 4 iron atoms and which is connected tetrahedral fashion. It is like tetrahedral fashion, but they are all like one encapsulated. That is, it's not really exposed to it. It is in the buried inside the proteins. That's what the meaning. And this iron is very sensitive to water. If it is water is there, this will be very dangerous. They are not stable. So what will happen if this iron is connected to, when there is a iron, it is sensitive to water. Okay. So what will happen? It can irreversibly oxidize. Not reversibly. It will be irreversibly oxidized to iron 3 form. So once it is iron 3 form is forming, then there is no function. It is not going to act as a function. It is not going to be oxygen carrier or oxygen storage is not going to begin. It will be dimerization will occur, it will be polymerization occur and it will spoil. So that is why it has to be protected from oxidation. But then what will happen when there is an irreversibly oxidized to iron 3 plus, then it will form that iron 3 complex, and this iron 3 complex is nothing but it is called as a hemine or hematine. That is an iron 3 complex when its heme is exposed to the water. Okay, so how it is exposed to water? When it is exposed to water, what will happen? The oxygen, the pure form, it is not reactive, but it means the iron is the heme pocket is exposed to in presence of water. Then this oxygen will be forming a new oxo dimer, and that new oxo dimer is nothing but hematine. It is going to form the new oxo dimers. This is going to happen only in presence of water. If you don't have water, then iron will be very well coordinated with the iron 2 plus. It will coordinate with the dioxygen and will be saved, and it is used for the photocatalytic the carbohydrate degradation and used for energy production. That's how it is used. But when it is exposed to moisture, then what will happen? Iron will form the dimeric species. The dimeric species lead to the duoxo dimer, and it is called as hematine. and it is going to be non-reactive or not useful for the oxygen carrier or oxygen storage. This is how the overall process is going to happen. Okay. Now what will happen when there is a oxygen is there. Okay. So here you take that you have a protofluorine in which iron 2 plus is there. So if it is treated with oxygen in presence of water, then what will happen? Iron 3 oxygen ferrite superoxide radical. This is what we have seen, that superoxide radical will form. So this superoxide radical will be dimerized and form the iron 3 peroxo species will form. This is protofluorine Py. Py represents the protofluorine. Okay. Then what will happen? This will be decomposed and release the oxygen and forming the iron 3 oxygen, iron 3 dimeric species will form. Protofluorine dimeric species. So this is not active species. This is nothing but hematite. Okay. And most, let's say when there is a exposure of water, you will get this kind of species which is not useful for oxygen storage or oxygen transport. But if you don't have exposed there, then it will be going to be useful for oxygen storage and oxygen carrier. How it will be avoiding? How we can avoid exposing this iron heme proteins with moisture? That is where the chlorine play an important role. So heme itself cannot act as an oxygen carrier. Okay, it cannot itself act as an. So the chlorine, that is alpha 2, beta 2 proteins, which is play a major role. That is what is going to be play major roles in the what is called as a, how it is going to be protect from the environment. It is going to protect from the what is called as a water. It is chlorine is going to be encapsulated in unit so that the water cannot come, because chlorine is the hydrocarbons which is going to be repel the water molecules so that it is going to stabilize. Okay, so chlorine play important role on the oxygen carrier. See, before going to the how the chlorine has been created, we also note that myoglobin has the, what is the myoglobin structure? So hemoglobin, you know that 4 protein chains are there, 4 heme packet is there. That means hemoglobin contains the 4 iron center, all iron in plus 2 oxidation state. That is the hemoglobin nature. But myoglobin, it is basically it is a monomeric unit. Now unlike hemoglobin is a tetrameric unit. So myoglobin has, there are also long chain proteins. Long chain protein having the protein of 153 amino acid. In the case of hemoglobin, there are 4 long chain protein, that is 141, 146 protein, that is alpha and beta clusters, where 4 types of clusters are there. But here the myoglobin has only 1 long chain protein of 153 amino acid and having amino acid with the residue having the 1 molecules of heme packet, and it has the 1 molecule of heme. That means it is also similar environment, but it is a monomeric form. That is the difference between the hemoglobin and myoglobin. Okay. Now how the heme is going to stabilize in the presence of globin. Okay. So if you see that how it looks like, you have nitrogen, that is a, okay. So this is how your whole heme is there. This is the heme unit, and the protein unit nitrogen is here. Now the protein is not simple protein; it is like a kind of hydrocarbons. So these hydrocarbons are coupled. There are 4 proteins are there in the hemoglobin. They will be coupled together like this. Mixed like that. I am not put right. So here like this. It will be like this. It will be coupled. That means your porphyrin is encapsulated inside the alpha 2 beta 2 clusters. That is, proteins are folded around the heme packet. so that the heme will not have the exposed to the water molecules. Okay, so the heme will not be having the water molecules, so it will be given to give the complete hydrophobic environment, so that it can only coordinate with the oxygen center. It can only coordinate with the oxygen center and form the hydrophobic environment. And also, this globin has a role of, it has a steric, it has a bulk, it is going to give the stericness also, and the chemical hydrophobic environment, chemical hydrophobic, both will prevent the water comes under attack. So if once water comes under, then it is going to form the dimerate, then it is going to spoil the oxygen carrier capacity. But when you have the protein folding or encapsulation, then we can see that it has a stericness, long chain stericness is there, it has a hydrophobic environment is there, so that makes that this is a hydrophobic environment and protect them. Okay, in both cases iron in +2 oxygen state, the hemoglobin and myoglobin, both cases you have the +2 oxygen state. Now we quickly summarize that what is the role of globin. We have already told, but we will just summarize that. Role of globin. What is the role of globin? Okay, one is it prevents the irreversible oxidation. Okay, so it prevents irreversible oxidation of, see, once iron is 3+, it cannot be useful. So it prevents the irreversible oxidation of iron 2+ by oxygen. And also it gives the fifth coordinating size. So it gives the, yes, it should have the fifth and sixth coordination in this oxygen carrier. It also gives the fifth coordinating size. It gives the fifth coordinating size. Okay, and other thing is it is going to give the hydrocarbon environment. Okay, it is going to give the hydrocarbon, that is a non-polar environment. It is going to give the non-polar environment, and it is likely, see, what it help is when they create a non-polar environment. See, whenever there is a iron is there, here oxygen is there. When iron can go to the iron 3+, there should be a electron should be transferred from the iron to oxygen. There should be ionic transfer. Electron mobility means there is ionic mobility, ion mobility. So this hydrocarbon environment, that is non-polar environment, avoid the ionic star separation. See, if you have iron 2+ and the oxygen binding is there. So when there is a, if there is an electron is trying to go here, then there will be delta